You need to pay attention to this. Hey everybody, hope you had a great trading day. It was a wild one to say the least. Stay to the end because we're going to go through the indexes. A lot's changed in one day of trading, and that's just where we're at right now. But I want to get into this, and I want to make sure you subscribe to the channel and click all notifications. We're doing live streams, and during those live streams, especially pre-market, we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Thursday. I think we're going to try Thursday night this week, probably around 5 or 6. But just make sure you subscribe so that you know exactly what time we start doing them. The point that I'm getting at is something like this, PLRX. Just because it moves does not mean it's over. So one of the things I was explaining to people today in the pre-market, and I want you to understand this because I still think there's a trade here, but one of the things that I was explaining to them in the pre-market was when you don't have a range and you don't have a level, what you want to do, you really want to put in fib levels as soon as you can because you have this gap. So you really have nothing. So what you're really looking for here is you're looking for this range to establish, which you did right here. Here's your low, right? And then this became the high. You can see that we had this as the 1. So what I was showing people today in the pre-market video was this. Like, hey, if you get over this, you're going to push. I mean, you can go back and look at the live stream where I explained it. I mean, this is a very particular pattern where you're consolidating right on a fib level. And that was it. And it pushed. That was the whole trade. And since then, we did add a couple more times in the trading room today. But the cleanest one was just this. So don't overcomplicate it with names like this. Keep it simple. When you have something that easy and you see this higher low, higher low, higher low, I mean don't get it confused. Here's your wick. Wicks are price rejection, right? This comes along. If you overlay this with something as simplistic, right? You can see that little move when it came down here, how we bounced off of it, how this higher high met that higher high. So everything is right in line, right? You can see that. Now, the other thing you can always do is just look at volume. Always look at your volume on these breakouts. Did it have huge volume on that breakout? Well, there's your volume on that breakout. So it's got everything that you want it to have. So again, sometimes just sticking with the basics while you're trading during the day is the best. Now, the question is, what do you do now? Well, you're bouncing around after hours. You closed at 23. You're at 22. This is a very simple trade if you're not going to trade it pre or post. Tomorrow morning, if you can flip this level, if you flip this level, this 23, you're definitely going to want to look at being involved in this. This is massive volume. The company had a drug, and I'm not going to bore you with all of it right now because the bottom line is it just matters what the price is doing. But they had a drug. Trials went substantially better than anyone anticipated, even the best case scenario. And that's what's really important. What you're looking for are spots where you have volume and then how it's going to act when it comes through that volume. So a higher high tomorrow right here, and this can continue to just move itself higher. This is not one that's just going to simply roll back. So keep that in mind. I want to go through Tesla. So this is very interesting to me, and I'm going to suggest that everybody start using this Ichimoku cloud. I'm going to link a video at the end of it that talks specifically about advanced techniques of it, and you're going to want to spend some time watching it. I think it's 10 minutes long, and I'm going to explain why. See how I got to the cloud? So not only did I get to resistance, we know these lines flip. Support becomes what? Becomes resistance. Bonk, bonk, bonk. We can all see that, right? Got right to this level, got right to the top of the cloud, rejected. This is day one. I just want to be clear on that. So like every single time this has rejected here, it's not stopped at one day. Now, I have a bearish engulfing because this bar completely encompassed the body of that bar, right on a resistance point, going into all kinds of issues with lockdowns in China. You have issues now with Berlin issuing a statement. They're going to decide who to ration gas from. That's a major issue when you have a gigafactory over there. So, people aren't really going to be out there buying cars if they're rationing gas. So besides the fact of how you're going to heat your plant. So you have real issues here that are starting to pop up. No one Friday saw the Chinese issues with the banks coming. Nobody. And that added stress to the market today where people are like, you know what, get me out. CPI is Wednesday. So pay attention to this. But how I view this is something of, you haven't missed it yet. In other words, if this takes out that lower low tomorrow, you might want to get involved with it and look for some stops, 647, kind of go from there. I really do like this trade, and it's definitely something that I would continue to watch. Caveat, I have puts on this. So I think that you just need to take a long-term outlook here And the majority of what I'm going to go over today are just reversals. So, and I want to say this and get this out there. I'm trying to figure out the kindest way to say this. If you cannot change your opinion on a dime in a market like this, don't trade it. Just get out of the way. If you're going to try to implement, some of the can slim principles and growth and breakouts to this kind of market, you are going to get slaughtered. So it does not work in this type of environment. That type of stuff works when you have bull markets, and it helps you find up with everything's rising. It helps you find up where the cream is, and that's really what you're looking for. But when you have very simple moves like this coming into Wednesday and you reverse right here, you need to pay attention to that. You had downgrades today on semiconductor stocks at Barclays. You have lenders that are being downgraded at Goldman Sachs. So there's a lot going on here. If they're downgrading this, or they're downgrading the sector before the largest foundry in the world comes out with earnings, they know where their channel checks are. Channel checks is where they're talking about production, capacity utilization. They're aware of that. There's a reason why they're doing it ahead of the number. And so you need to pay attention to that. So if this takes out a lower low, you need to assume, and earnings are Thursday, so you can get ahead of this, right? Probably maybe buy puts or put a short on and try to get ahead of this. See if you can get back down to this 73 level before the event, and then maybe you can stay short it, and then who knows, maybe it really breaks here. You have CPI Wednesday, you have to be aware of that. Netflix is one that we shorted in the room. I just want to point this out again. Please watch that cloud video. I can't stress it enough. And comment below on what you want to see. It's why I keep talking about this cloud video, because people ask what indicators to use when. I'm telling you what to use right now. I can't be any clearer. It's big and it's orange and it's on your screen right now. So, and so you can see this level right here, right? Look what happened when you got to that level, okay? So everybody else is looking at this moving average, that moving average. Moving averages are lagging indicators. They help you determine direction, and they can give you an inflection spot, but nothing is even remotely close to the magnitude of what this cloud and what RSI will represent. So that said, you can see where you turned right here. You're just starting. This is day one of the turn. I can't stress that enough. Day one. I'm trying to stay in here for earnings. I fully expect them to have another really bad earnings quarter, and this is where you're at. July 19th is when they will be coming out with earnings. So UPST is literally on the brink, literally. So let's just look at this. Okay, downgraded today, Goldman Sachs, $4 stock. If you break this 25.43, you have one linchpin left. It's the very low right here, 22.61. If you break that, this is a teenager. Definitely something for you to look at. Very simple trade, doesn't get any cleaner. Higher or lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. It could be in a textbook. It's so perfect. We need to talk about the indexes now. I'm going to leave this cloud up there. I'm not going to put in any moving averages. We're starting to go sideways. Moving averages, they're not going to add as much value right now. So especially when you're going sideways. So I have a tremendous amount of segue or segment lines here. Let's get rid of them. This is simple, right? Okay. So if I follow through here on the downside, I could still be basing until I break this. Once I break this level, 276, I'm going to come to here. You need to pay attention to this though, because this is day one of the reversal, right? This is a bearish hook reversal. We're all familiar with those patterns if you watch that video. 1, 2, 3, reversal. Okay, this pattern is everywhere. 1, 2, 3, reversal bar. Tries to go here, gives us the bullish engulfing, and then gave us the flim flam and broke down. Right, you're seeing this everywhere. So I would focus on the Qs. The Qs are going to lead right now. We can see that. It was the SPY for a while, and this is not coming in as much. But energy's got its own set of issues there. It's trying to hang in there. And we're going to have to see if energy actually does hang in there. But I don't have a lot of faith for it. IWM, I would just completely avoid at this point. Now IWM's going down, even when the 10-year rallied 3%. And I do want to give everybody that's hanging out just one very quick bonus. In the trading room, we're buying this, TLT. We're in at 111 and change. Just watch this. It got right to that cloud. Look what it did. Maybe you should use this cloud. So what you can see here is just see how it acts when it gets to that line again. Eventually they do go through the cloud, but you need to pay attention to this chart. I was pushing this chart all last week. Let's get rid of these indicators and see this line, how we respect this line. Look at this. Look how you got up there, tried to break out, and now you're sitting right on that, okay? This tells you everything that you need, all right? So everything. Watch this line. If maybe this was the flim flam for them to get people into equities, and now we reverse, right? So something to think about, but they made your job very, very easy here to pick which way the market may go, right? May go, right? It's correlated very heavily to equities. But there's your two levels right over there, and all you have to do is watch that doji. Just made life very, very easy for everybody, hopefully. That's it. If you have more questions, please put them below. Share this video on social media. I purposely don't run ads to waste your time. If you can share this on Twitter, YouTube, wherever you are, it is greatly appreciated to support the channel so I can create more content. That's it. That's all I have. Everybody, trade to win tomorrow.